Hey everyone, Andrew here, bringing you another video review, and today we're continuing Morphonomical Week, and that means we're going to be reviewing today the Green Mighty Morphin Power Ranger, Tommy. Take a look at this greeny boy right here. Now, this is kind of a re-review because I did review this figure in a previous review, along with Megazord and Jason, but I thought might as well do this video again. Give more of a history to Tommy, because there's a lot of history with Tommy. Talk about his powers, his personality, and also go into the figure too. But more, let's talk about Tommy. Sit down and get to know him. Not if you don't already know Tommy already, because like I said, he's one of the more well-known Power Rangers. So with that said, a little information about Tommy. Tommy was given the Green Dragon Zord Dino Coin by Rita Repulsa, and she made him her evil Green Ranger. See, you gotta understand, Rita's been getting her ass handed to her every single second of the day by the Power Rangers. They're just whooping her all over the place. And she feels like a total, complete douche that she can't beat them. So why not fight fire with fire? And she did have a Power Ranger coin. So she places a spell under Tommy, gives him the Dragon Zord coin, and also the Sword of Darkness, and makes him her evil Green Ranger. And through lies, deceit, backstabbing, and just raw power, Tommy is able to demoralize and devastate the Power Ranger team. Goes so far to actually separate Jason, the Power Rangers team leader and most capable fighter, from the team, and making them weaker and more vulnerable to attacks. So Tommy just basically fucks with the Rangers. He's just dominating them. It wasn't until Jason was able to come back to the team and defeat Tommy in hand-to-hand single combat and destroy the Sword of Darkness was Tommy released from the evil spell Rita put on him. Feeling bad for what he did, he reluctantly joined the Power Ranger team. So you gotta understand is at first Tommy really didn't want to join the Power Rangers. He didn't want to have anything to do with them. He just felt bad about what he did as the Green Ranger. So he reluctantly joined the team, which is kind of funny because he's probably the most well-known Power Ranger out there, and he starts off as a reluctant Ranger. However, he joins the Power Ranger team and becomes somewhat of a supporting team member. He grows close bonds with the likes of Billy, Jason in particular he has a close friendship with, and a close rivalry too. And he also has a close relationship with Kimberly, who they actually spark up a relationship. They go out and they kiss once, and that's about it. But Tommy becomes a very well-liked member of the team. He was with the team up until the Green Candle saga, where the Green Candle was lit and his powers were depleted. He eventually had to give whatever was left of the Green Ranger powers over to Jason, who controlled what was ever left, the Green Ranger Dragon Shield, Dragon Flute, and Dragon Zord. Tommy was eventually given the powers back, but only to lose them to a shellfish that Zed controlled. Yes, the Green Ranger powers, probably one of the most powerful Ranger powers, second to only maybe to the Gold Ranger and Silver Ranger. And they're defeated by a shellfish. Okay, whatever. I'll let it slide. So Tommy loses his Green Ranger powers for good. The coin's still around, it just has nothing to it. So he and Zordon get into talks, they have a little meeting, they have a little cup of tea and stuff, and Zordon creates the White Ranger powers. And Tommy is given and presented the opportunity to take it up. It's kind of funny. Again, the reluctant Power Ranger, again, has dived into this role as becoming a essential member of the team. He becomes the White Ranger and again becomes the 6th Ranger for the team. When Jason, Zach, and Trini left, Jason gave leadership to the Rangers over to Tommy. Tommy led the Rangers for quite a bit of time, through the Ninja Saga, into Power Ranger Zeo, where he became Zeo Ranger number 5, Red, into Turbo, where he became the Red Turbo Ranger. During Zeo, he broke up with Kimberly, or more, she broke up with him, and he went out with Catherine. And in a possible future, they get married, but how canon is that, we don't know. And in Turbo, he eventually passes on the torch, the mantle of Turbo Ranger to TJ. Tommy then returns to the Power Ranger team in Dino Thunder, where he becomes a mentor. He's a paleontologist, which is interesting because he got that degree in such a short amount of time, which is ridiculous. Years are spent to become an expert in the field of dinosaurs, but he does it in just a few short years. Gotta love that Power Ranger timeline. And he becomes the Black Dino Thunder Ranger, serving as kind of a mentor to the team, and loosely a team leader. I often consider the Yellow Ranger more of a team leader than anyone, although I think the Red Ranger was, for the most part, considered the team leader, but Tommy was more of a mentor for Dino Thunder. Also, before Dino Thunder, and I forgot to mention this, he and several other Red Rangers teamed up together to destroy the Machine Empire, or what's left of it is Serpent Terror, and Tommy led that group, or at least the Rangers that wanted to be led. Tommy did lead that group, and he reclaimed his role as Zeo Ranger number 5, Red. So that's basically Tommy's history. Tommy's always able to come back. He's probably one of the most evident Rangers there is, probably one of the most recurring Rangers there is, and one that has probably the most history. Now let's get into personality, powers, and ability-wise. Tommy's a very kind individual. He's also very he's self-conscious almost, or maybe not self-conscious, but he doesn't really put a lot of thought to the skills that he has. He's very modest about who he is. Tommy's probably one of the best fighters and probably one of the most legendary and best Rangers there is. You can put him up there with Andros and Jason and all those other Rangers that are just absolute legends, and he doesn't think of himself like that. He has a close, strong relationship with Jason, who he considers an equal and also a great friend. And over long periods of time, they have kept that friendship. He had a close relationship with Kimberly, and despite the fact that they broke up, they still consider each other friends. And he has a close relationship with Catherine, which, again, in a possible future, they do get married, but how canon is that, we don't know. So Tommy's also a good leader. He's not as strategically good as, say, Jason or Jen or Doggy Kruger are, but he's still a good leader. He leads the Rangers for a long time, and when Jason returned as the Gold Ranger, he said to Tommy, you know, I'm not here to take back leadership. When I left the Rangers in good hands. I left them in your hands. You have been a capable leader, and you should stay the leader. I'm just here to help out. So Tommy's a good leader. Again, not the best, but definitely one of the better ones. Powers and ability-wise, Tommy's an exceptional fighter, master martial artist, and him and Jason are considered equals and the best martial artists in all of Power Ranger history. Although I do personally consider Jason better, for the sake of argument, I always consider them equals too. So Tommy's definitely one of the best fighters in the Power Rangers. He gets speed, strength, and durability upgrades, but more so as a Ranger than the other 5 Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. The Green Ranger power is considered one of the strongest Ranger powers there is. It's considered stronger than any of Tommy's other powers, stronger than his Dino Thunder or his White Ranger or even his Zeo powers. So the Green Ranger power is exceptionally strong. In addition to that, he has his Dragon Shield, which, playing the flute, allows him to reflect any projectile attack at anyone. This can be seen when he was fighting Jason. Jason shoots lasers, and he just stands there and takes it and reflects it back. Or even when Jason was wearing the Dragon Shield and was running at people and just taking hits. Or when Jason was wearing the shield and Titanus was shooting at him, the hits were just bouncing off. So the Green Ranger shield can block any projectile. He also has the Green Ranger dagger here, the Dragon Dagger, which is used to control his personal Zord, the Dragon Zord, and also to can do projectile attacks and for melee combat. And when he was evil, he did have the Sword of Darkness, which was just a ridiculous weapon. As the Green Ranger, he also controls the Dragon Zord, probably the strongest individual Zord out of the bunch. Not quite as strong as the Megazord total, but was individually the strongest. And the Dragon Zord could become the Dragon Zord in battle mode. Now, I'm only going to talk about his Green Ranger powers, because he has 5 other powers. White Ranger, Zeo, Turbo, and his Black Ranger power. 4 other powers. 5 including his Green Ranger power. So it would just take too long to get into all the powers, but Tommy's Green Ranger power was definitely his strongest, and often considered probably the 4th strongest Ranger power, maybe even the 3rd. The Gold Ranger and Silver Ranger powers are often considered the strongest Ranger powers, but Tommy's Ranger powers is definitely up there. It's a shame that they're not around anymore. Right now, Tommy still has his Zeo Ranger powers, and technically, if he could return to his Dino Thunder coin, his gem, he could have his Dino Thunder powers back, but they're depleted, so he only has his Zeo powers still. So that's a bit of information about Tommy. Did I forget anything? No, I'm not going into any of the other powers, so that's about all you need to know about Tommy. Onto the figure itself. Tommy was one of the first figures I got, along with Jason. I wanted to get Tommy and Jason right away. I like Tommy as a character, but I really got sick of him after his White Ranger Because when he became the Red Ranger, it became less the Power Rangers and more of the Tommy show. But when he was Green Ranger, he was just awesome. I loved him as Green Ranger. And I really wanted to get the Green Ranger figure. Mostly because I thought it would be going fast, but also because the Green Ranger. It looks badass. However, the Green Ranger is probably one of the most common figures, to tell you the truth. I see it everywhere. The Green Ranger figure, for the most part, has somewhat the standard body that the red, black, and blue have, although it has the Dragon Shield add-on and the different gloves and armbands, which obviously makes it a different mold. Very accurate to the show, although he doesn't have a scabbard or a casing for his dragon blade. And that's all he comes with is the dragon flute. He doesn't come with the blaster because the Green Ranger never used the blaster. I think there was only 1 or 2 scenes he was actually shown to have one, and that was only in the American costumes. And he also had the Sword of Darkness, but they didn't give it to him. And I think that would have been a nice add-on to give him the Sword of Darkness. But he only comes with his dragon flute. He does come with, these accessories, but fuck that shit. On a whole, it's a good-looking figure. Definitely a must to get. And even though he's one of the most common figures, I would say he would be one of the first to get. The only 2 complaints I have with this figure, or actually 3, is the Dragon Dagger. It fits best in his left hand, and it doesn't fit that well in his right hand. Maybe it's just my figure. Maybe I'm not positioning it well. It's a very good-looking accessory. It's just, it fits only good in his left hand. So, and even then you have to position it the right way, and it could still fall out. The second thing is that for some reason mine doesn't balance as well. I don't know if that's my figure personally or if it's the other figures. In general, all Green Ranger figures, but his balance, I think it's because of his extra accessories, a little top heavy, but not that much. I don't think that's even that top heavy. But still, he doesn't balance as well as, say, the other figures do. Again, it could just be mine. Maybe I'm just not. Maybe my equilibrium's off or something, and I don't realize the figure's actually balancing perfectly. But that and the Green Ranger shield is stuck on there. I would like it if the Dragon Shield could come off, but it doesn't happen. So that's a bummer because I would take it. I would buy 2 figures. I'd buy 2 Green Rangers, 2 Red Rangers. I'd give one of the Dragon Shields to the Red Ranger because, come on. But on a whole, it's a really good-looking figure. Definitely worth picking up. One of the better-looking figures. Despite its flaws here and there, it's still one of the best figures. And I would recommend picking it up. It is also one of the most common figures. I see it everywhere. I don't know if that's the case with you guys or if it's just with me. Tommy is a good character. I feel as though he gets overused a little later, but he's still one of the best Ranger characters. And still one of the best Rangers. I feel as though he's kind of like Hulk Hogan. It's like, he's good because, Disney and Disney and what was it called, Saban or Bandai or whatever, made him that good. But still, he is definitely a fun Ranger and definitely a loved Ranger. And there's very few people out there that can say that they don't like the Green Ranger. Love the Green Ranger. Whether you like Tommy as white or red or black, you gotta love him as green. So Tommy definitely has a lot of history to him. Good character, good figure. Could have used a little bit more accessories. And the Dragon Shield coming off would be nice, but despite that, definitely worth picking up. I would highly recommend it. So with that said, until tomorrow, where we continue Morphonomical Week, we're getting close to the end. Tomorrow will be the Red Ranger. This is Andrew saying, peace out for now.